Hi everyone. I haven't slept enough and I've tried to make this video several times already, but we have made it to the third quarter moon and we're going into the last phase of the moon, and I'm excited. This is an important phase, so I really want to make this video. So I'm going to give it one more shot. I've got my friend Frida here to support me. Third quarter moon, or last quarter moon. This is when the moon is exactly half illuminated, and it is halfway between the full moon, which we had on January 3rd, and the next new moon, which will be January 17th. So we're at the halfway point. This is similar to the fall equinox, when we have half day and half night. I've been talking about multiple overlapping cycles, so I wanted to share a visual to support. In this chart, you'll see in the center the cycle of the day, the hours of the day, and then going out from the center, you see the seasons of the solar year, and then you see the equinoxes and their relationship to the yin and the yang energy. In the next layer, you see the moon cycle, and in the outermost layer, you see the breath cycle. The new moon is at the top of the chart with the empty breath, the highest yin, the winter solstice, and the time of the day is midnight, 12 a.m. And this is the pause between fall and winter, the new moon. And the full moon's at the bottom of the chart, representing the most yang time of the cycle. And then you see the equinoxes on either side and the quarter moons on the sides. So if you look to the left-hand side of the chart, you see the last quarter moon is right there in the middle, and the lower left quadrant between the full moon and the last quarter moon is where we were last week, and that has the energy of summertime going into fall. And then in the upper left between the last quarter and the new moon, you see the waning crescent phase, which is what we are going into this coming week. And you'll see that's associated with the season of fall. And it is yang going into yin, getting more and more yin until the height of the yin at the new moon, starting the new cycle. So this is an important stage because I want to share this video to set myself up and to set all of us up to go into this next week, which is a yin phase of the lunar cycle, set up to be really supportive, to relax into the natural cycle of the end of this moon. I've mentioned before, it's really the yin parts of the creation cycle that we most have trouble with, especially if you're someone who tends to do a lot. This is an opportunity for feminine reclamation, whether you are in a female or a male body, and an opportunity to rebalance this out of balance yin-yang energy. And we have this opportunity every month to give it another shot and to have this practice time. For the next 7 days, we will be in the waning crescent stage of the moon. So the moon will be less than half illuminated, and it will be decreasing in illumination. If you're going to liken this to the cycle of the breath, this is the exhale. The full moon to the third quarter was like the first part of the exhale, and this third quarter now to the new moon is like the last bit of the exhale with all the air going out of your lungs. Like the fall, where the trees drop their leaves. Right? So it's a time when growth stops and release begins. We're surrendering, we're letting go. The trees are pulling in all their chlorophyll. The leaves turn brown and the leaves drop and the tree goes dormant through the winter into the spring. So we are in this shedding phase for the next about 7 days until the new moon on January 17th. So this is a time to not push. It's a time to be really leaning into where you resist letting go, where you resist surrendering, where you resist celebrating what you've accomplished and forgiving yourself and letting go all the things that maybe you didn't accomplish, or all the places where you're not where you want to be yet. So it takes some some self-love, right? It takes some trust that if I let go now, I'm going to be okay. Because if I let go now and I pull my energy in and I don't push to try and do more, be more, prove more at this time of the seasonal yin part of the creation cycle, I'm going to be set up for success to complete this cycle well and start the new cycle replenished and ready. Even if you don't reduce your activity schedule because you can't or you don't want to, the way you go into your activities can be shifted, right? So you can go into something very extroverted and you can go into something a little bit more reserved. So you can be tending to your inner state while you're doing everything you're doing, while you're supporting all the people you have to support and getting all the things done, doing your job. Just knowing that it's a time for internal self-connection and pulling in and gathering your reserves, like the squirrels gather their nuts in the fall, is helpful, I think, and important. And something I'm really with right now is this exploration I was doing in my own head. So if I was a deciduous tree that drops its leaves, and if fall came, fall, which is akin to this waning crescent phase of the moon, fall came, and instead of just beautifully, flowingly, naturally, I pulled in my chlorophyll and dropped my leaves as the cycles and the seasons were telling me to. And if instead of doing that, I said, I don't want to drop my leaves. I like my leaves just how they are. I want to keep growing more leaves. I just want more leaves. I want to do more. I want to grow more fruit. I mean, I have to grow more fruit now. What if I run out of time? What if I drop my leaves and then they don't come back in the spring? Like, there's no guarantee I'm going to get more leaves. That's cuckoo. A tree would never say that, right? I mean, I'm just demonstrating some of my own internal voices. You can add your own. So I'm just attempting to sort of, in a comical way, externalize what can happen to interrupt or get in the way of us trusting the cycle of creation in ourselves and in the world. The tree trusts. The tree doesn't even think of it. And the tree is endlessly beautiful, right? We adore the tree as it turns red and golden and brown and drops its leaves. And we know that when the tree is dormant in winter, it's doing something magical inside there that's important, because miraculously in the spring, these amazing buds start coming out. And then it leaves out full again. And what I'm with is when we don't do our own version of the fall, the autumn, the dropping of our leaves, in tune with the cycle of nature, we are diminishing our capacity of our own beauty, our own rich, luscious aliveness, our own ability to be fully sustainable, to always have enough energy. It's like if I don't allow my fall time, if I don't pull in and reserve and surrender when the time is needed, when the seasons, when the cycle calls me to, it's like I'm robbing myself and the world of the beauty of my own creativity. In the next 7 days, between now and the 17th, we have this opportunity to practice. So practice letting go, practice drawing in your own way, right? Even if it's just 1% more. If it calls to you, if it resonates with you, as an experiment. I mean, if you're someone who's feeling really tired all the time, this is crucial, right? But if you're someone who isn't so much, who's doing just fine, it's more of a exploration, right? And a considering. So this is a practice week opportunity. So some of the things I might be doing this week to practice, I'm thinking like taking some time each day to reflect, like maybe sitting with a cup of tea in the evening, but doing it in an intentionally more quiet and reflective way where I'm actually not doing anything. I'm just pausing with a hot drink and reflecting on my day. It could be a journaling activity, a journaling practice to feel into what's my relationship to letting go. What's my relationship to trust that I could let go and I will be okay. That I could let go into the cycle and trust the cycle to carry me. Because trust and letting go are kind of two sides of the same coin. Another practice for the next 7 days or so would be with the breath. And if you were to meditate on the breath and focus on the exhale, especially the last half of the exhale as you empty into the pause at the bottom of the exhale. And even experimenting with exaggerating the exhale or sounding on the exhale. So that mindful somatic practice of attending to the breath and enjoying the exhale, really sinking into the exhale, allowing the body to really receive from the exhale and get acquainted with it, accustomed to it, trusting with it, can be really powerful. And so for feminine reclamation, for rebalancing the yin and the yang, this week is an opportunity for practice. If this resonates with you, I wish you a very release-filled, trust-filled, waning crescent moon.